Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Within Warzone right now, we do have a lot of parity between the weapon categories, right? There are some really good rifles, some really good battle rifles, SMGs, LMGs, so on and so forth, all up towards the top of the meta. But today, I wanted to go through each individual weapon category between your primaries and your secondaries, at least the ones you can create loadouts for, and break down the best weapon from and best setup from every weapon category. So we are going to dive right in, starting first with our only real secondary option, obviously launchers and knives. No attachments for those, so not really worth talking about. But for pistols, the Core 45, easily the standout option here. You can really build it a couple of different ways. You can go base Core 45 with a lightning trigger, or you can go Core 45 with the conversion kit, which is what I personally prefer. It's a little bit more consistent for my play style and whatnot. And either way, it's got a great TTK for a pistol, of course. As far as the overall setup here goes, obviously the conversion kit's going to be that most important part of this particular setup. It's going to give you a really good TTK, gives it that binary trigger function where it shoots once when you press in, shoots again when you press out, so it's almost like a 2-round burst. You can really spam it, and it's gonna fry up close, which is always super convenient. 40-round extended mag, all the ammo in the world, so you don't have to worry about running out of anything there. With the aftermarket part, with the conversion kit, you also unlock the precision stock, which helps out with some general control here. Just makes it easier to use and easier to stay on target, of course. I feel like I'm a lot more accurate when I do use an optic here, so I go for the Night Model 2023. Then the Zem compensator, just making it easier when I am spamming the trigger to stay on target again with that better control there. So this thing as a pistol, easily the best option out of that category. Now for snipers, it's probably closer than ever, and quite frankly, I think you have a compelling argument for the cat, which is my personal preference, and also the Moors. The Moors velocity is not as good as the cat's is, and I think for long range sniping, that's why I opt for the cat here. I do think the Moors though is maybe a bit more versatile. You can speed it up and have it be a little bit more aggressive as well. So really either or there's no wrong answer, but for a general just dominant long range sniper, the cat has to be that #1 go-to option here. Really all we care about is upping that velocity. So we're up over 1,000 with all these attachments. The Nightfall suppressor will increase that by 15%. The Zang barrel is going to do more of the same, 10% there. And then high velocity ammo gives you a 20%. So just over 1,000 means you've got a really good hit scan range here. And then even beyond that hit scan range, you won't have to worry a ton about bullet drop or bullet lead when you're aiming for those one-shot headshots. I also go for the tac pad stock here. Just helps out a little bit with ADS speed, as you can see just behind the face cam. Then also, in case you're looking for a screenshot, we got the quick bolt on there as well, just so I can get shots off a little bit faster back to back to back. That way, if you don't hit that headshot and you just crack them, you can get that second shot off to knock them, or if you do knock them in one shot, you can get that second shot off to finish them really quickly. Now for marksmans, this has been the case for a couple of seasons now. The MCW 6.8, in my opinion, is the most well-rounded statistically. Whether you're fighting at 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 meters, this thing's got you covered. Super quick TTK, plenty of ammo. There are some other really good options that I think are very close, but across the board, this thing is checking the most boxes that you need to consider a true meta weapon up towards the top. So biggest thing here is the 60-round extended mag. Other marksmans just can't do this, and while it is still buggy and glitchy and it sometimes doesn't load into the game, when it does work, 60 rounds is just so valuable for a marksman style weapon. Having 15, 20, 25 round mags on other options just isn't going to cut it in other squad sizes, so that's super good there. I also go for the assault stock, just keeping the recoil nice and easy when you are spamming it so you can stay on target consistently. We got the 2.5 times eagle eye optic, obviously very clear, very easy sight for any mid to long range gunfights. Ruin heavy support, helping out with the firing aim stability, and idle sway on a semi-auto gun makes this thing even more reliable and consistent. And then again, when you are spamming it, just makes it a little bit easier to use. Then lastly, spirit fire suppressor, extending that range, velocity, and control, nearly 1,000 velocity here as well. So a phenomenal hit scan range, and then super easy to use across the board, while also having a great TTK for a semi-auto gun. This thing's one of my personal favorite guns in the game, honestly. And by the way, as we are breaking down all the setups here in every category, if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and drop a like on it. It's always really appreciated. Also, if you're new to the channel, if you want to guarantee that every single day you are up to date with everything going on in COD, this is the place to be. So feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. Now for LMGs, it's again a close competition between the Holger 26 and the DG58, but the DG58, as we all know by now, is the #1 gun this half season. The reason I like doing these videos towards the end of a season though also is to see that, with the season 4 update, how much is this drastically going to change? Will there be enough adjustments made so that the Holger does take over, or maybe a surprise LMG or SMG or rifle rifle takes over, you know. But for now, the DG58 is holding its own just fine here. Again, Spirit Fire Suppressor, pretty standard range, velocity, and control. Woody Long Barrel's giving us control, range, velocity, also better aiming, idle sway. So it's just doing so much for our gun to make it more optimal in the mid to long range. Bruin heavy support here yet again, horizontal control, better firing aim stability, etc, etc. 2.5 times Eagle Eye optic, and then I also go for the rubber butt plate as well for a little bit of better speed, just to keep things a little bit more agile for like the mid range. You could also use the recoil reduction butt plate though too, and it's going to be an absolute laser beam. You could also drop the Eagle Eye optic if you're a fan of the iron sights and throw on something like you know, high grain rounds here. That'd be a really good choice too, to get even better range and even better velocity. So that'd be a very viable build at the same time. A couple of different ways you can build this thing out. Regardless of how you do so, the thing is obviously great. Now for shotguns, I'm going to be quite honest with you guys. The entire category I think is pretty underwhelming. There's no MW3 shotguns that are super consistent. The Riveter would be that option with like the ball gauge ammo, but even that's been nerfed recently and it's really not all that impressive in my opinion. Really, the best shotgun in my eyes is technically not a shotgun, but it is with the conversion kit. It's the Warden's conversion kit for the Lockwood MK2 Marksman. So kind of weird here, but that's just kind of the reality of the shotgun meta. It's pretty underwhelming. But if you do throw on the Warden's conversion kit on the Lockwood MK2, you end up getting a META Loadout that has 2 attachments. So the Warden's aftermarket part is going to be the first one that actually turns this into a shotgun, of course. And then beyond that, all you really would want to use is the Scarlet Laser that gives you a really good sprint to fire and better accuracy when you're standing still and like lining up a sight here. I think that's pretty valuable. It's going to give you the potential to one-shot headshot knock if you land all shots on a head. You could use something like, you know, the Verdant hook or something to get the better hip fire on here too. There are other ones that you could mess around with, but if you're gonna play this to its strengths, which is just purely having a great spread for headshot action, that'd be your best bet there. It's a super awkward shotgun setup, but it's pretty much the best go-to shotgun in most cases because the shotguns are just so underwhelming. Hey everyone, quick little announcement. Gamer Advantage is currently running a Memorial Day sale from now all the way through May 31st. And with this, everything on the site is going to be discounted by 25% off, which is already a crazy good deal. But I got an even better one for you. Code Immortal actually stacks on top of that to get you 35% off everything on the site. So that is the absolute best discount you can get on anything from Gamer Advantage. Of course, you guys see me rocking my Horizon frames every single day. I love these things. I swear by them. And alongside all the other Gamer Advantage products, they got plenty of different frame options. They do prescription or regular lenses, so they got everyone covered. If you want to pick up a pair for yourself, maybe a friend, a loved one, whatever the case may be, throw in code Immortal, take advantage of that increased discount from now all the way through the 31st. And the link for that will be down in the description below if you're interested. What's not underwhelming though is the SMGs. We've got so many good choices here. Picking out the true best is pretty hard, but I gotta go with the Striker 9 here. Between its mobility, its control, its ridiculously fast TTK, and super good range, it's doing so much right. And honestly, I think it feels the best. It's what I find to be the most reliable right now. So here we're going for Zem 35, better control, minimal cons to our ADS and to our velocity. We go for the Recon long barrel, extending out that bullet velocity for a better hit scan range, but also that best TTK range as well, out to 14 meters. DR6 hand stop to keep things snappy and aggressive with a ton of better movement speed on here. Edge BW4 is also a really good choice as well. We got the 50 round extended mag, very basic. Then I go for the light stock on here, a little bit of better movement as well across the board. So this thing is snappy, it's aggressive, and it kills very quickly. Now for battle rifles, honestly, this entire category is pretty underwhelming as well. They nerfed the Subverter obviously a little bit ago, but it's still probably the best battle rifle when it comes down to it. Its closest comp, in my opinion, would be the Sidewinder, but that thing's magazine capacity and velocity and fire rate just are a little bit too unforgiving, so I can't truthfully say that's the option number one out of the category. The Subverter, its long-range TTK is not going to be crazy good, but it is still going to be really reliable in some of the mid-range, then out to that early long range as well. So for resurgence and whatnot, this is still going to be a fine choice here. Plus, I love this iron sight build. It's a ton of fun to use. Cast a spray compensator to make it super predictable. It does have that S-curve recoil, so this helps straighten that out a little bit. We go for the Dozer 90 long barrel with range, velocity, and control. A little bit of firing aim stability added on there too. Bruin heavy support, 50 round extended mag. Then because the iron sights are so clean, I go for the motion heavy stock, helps out with even more control. So this thing's gonna be a laser beam. Like I said, pretty reliable TTK. It's just not crazy broken like it once was, but still probably the best choice here out of the BR category. And then lastly, for rifles, the BP50, probably my favorite gun in the game across the board. This thing is just so fun and so versatile. Sniper support, it covers it there. Long range, it covers it there. It's doing it all. It's aggressive, it's agile for a rifle. I love this thing. Cast a spray compensator on here as well. I actually go for DR6 hand stop to keep this thing super aggressive because the recoil is so easy. I don't have to burn an attachment on Bruin heavy or something to slow it down but get better control. I can be accurate and fast at the same time, and I love that. Lore 9 heavy barrel, better range, velocity, control, and firing aim stability. 45 round extended mag, then also the Moat 40 stock, which is better control and better mobility, and a great way to build around your castle to protect it as well. So this thing's doing a lot for you at the same time. Like I said, love the feel of this thing. In my opinion, the most versatile and consistent weapon in the game, and easily the best assault rifle as it stands. Very much so looking forward to seeing how these categories are adjusted with season 4 here in just a couple of days time. But as for now, that's going to wrap things up for this video. If you enjoyed or if you found it helpful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications to guarantee you're up to date with everything going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.